Long horse. You might want to saddle up for this one, boys. After all, how many horror creatures do you know that smell like cinnamon instead of, well, corpse rot? Created by Trevor Henderson in 2018, this bony, soft-spoken cryptid looks like a horse, except it doesn't stop where it should. Its neck just keeps going and going. Honestly, it might be the weirdest thing I've ever heard. There's no body, just an endless spine of clean white vertebrae. At the end, a horse skull with no jaw and a few scraggly black hairs hanging off like a spirit Halloween wig. You'd assume it's dangerous, but Longhorse isn't trying to stir up trouble. He's basically Al Capone, but with fewer crimes and more neck. Think of him as your personal disaster heads up. If you see him, something horse? I mean, worse is on its way. He's just early to the scene. Despite having no visible mouth or voice, he still communicates through dreams, intuition, and that gut feeling you really shouldn't ignore. It exists partly outside of space, its full form unknowable, and moves through reality like it's stepping between cracks. Trevor described it as a needle threading between layers of existence. You're not meant to understand it. You're meant to notice it. And take the hint. Some call it an angel, others just call it a good boy. Either way, it shows up when it matters, accepts apple offerings with a bony nod, and always keeps a polite distance. But if he's around, you might want to hold your horses and pay attention. The Thing. In John Carpenter's The Thing, horror doesn't arrive screaming. It creeps in silently, wearing the face of someone you trust. It kicks off at a remote Antarctic research station, where a suspiciously normal-looking dog strolls in like it owns the place. Bad news. It does. That dog is host to a parasitic alien life form that doesn't just kill, it copies. This thing slurps up your cells, mimics your DNA, and walks around pretending to be you, but with slightly worse vibes. And here's the thing, you wouldn't even notice. That's the trick. It infects like an undetectable virus. All it takes is a drop of blood, a shared scalpel, or maybe swapping spit with the wrong coworker. The infected person still walks around like your average two-faced colleague, gossiping about peers, complaining about the coffee, totally chill, until your head sprouts spider legs and scuttles off. As the men in the camp begin to suspect one another, the fear shifts from survival to paranoia. They start turning on each other, barricades go up, and flamethrowers come out. It's like Among Us, except there's no voting. Just pure paranoia and a lot more limbs on the floor. But the thing isn't just a shape-shifting imposter story. It's about isolation, trust collapsing in real time, and the creeping horror of not knowing who's still human. And in that frozen wasteland, suspicion kills faster than the cold. In the end, there's no rescue. Just two survivors sitting across from each other in the cold, a silent question hanging in the frozen air.
What the dog doing?
Entity 10. Entity 10, unofficially nicknamed skin stealers, are exactly what they sound like. Humanoid creatures that wear human skin like it's cosplay. Underneath tall, pale yellow figures with sunken white eyes. But they're not classic monsters stomping around for a scare. They lurk in the background, copying familiar faces and mannerisms. They study you, how you talk, how you move, and imitate it just well enough to pass as long as you're not paying too much attention. And that's where the horror lives. The subtle, uncanny valley, the delay in answering simple questions, the strange way they walk, or how they call your dog Unit. They can speak, but they don't understand what they're saying. So if someone near you starts saying things like, "Subscribe Knife Chicken Sunday," don't trust them. In their calm mode, skin stealers just sort of wander around aimlessly. But the second they get hungry, you're cooked. They'll tear you apart with their bare hands and peel you like a grape. Then they slap your skin on like a onesie and walk around pretending to be you. And here's the creepy part. They make the disguise work. Those suckers pump nutrients and warmth into the stolen flesh to keep it fresh, even healing cuts to make it more lifelike. For about 24 hours, they can pass as human, until your skin digests into their body and they enter a docile state again. So, if someone near you is acting off, don't call them out. Smile, nod, and definitely don't comment on their new glow. Slenderman. Slenderman might be internet's most unsettling creepypasta. He's a faceless, bald, lanky figure, sporting a business suit like he's on his way to a Pitbull concert. Honestly, he should have tried a department store instead. Sometimes he's got tentacles sprouting from his back. Sometimes, flared jeans. The lore is flexible. He was created by Victor Surge in a 2009 Photoshop contest. Originally just a creepy figure lurking behind children in photos, paired with ominous captions. But the internet being the internet, it didn't stay a meme for long. People started adding stories, fake sightings, new locations. And slowly, the line between fiction and reality started to blur. Now he's known for stalking his victims in Slender, a game where you go searching for 8 pages that are, apparently, worth dying for. Didn't remember this page being in there, though. Instead of chasing you, Slenderman seeps into your mind, causing paranoia, memory lapses, hallucinations, and the occasional ASMR whispers you really didn't ask for. Victims also report electronic disturbances, glitching cameras, static-filled radios, whenever he's near. His presence is more psychological than physical, making you question your own sanity. The lore took a dark turn in 2014 when two 12-year-old girls in Wisconsin lured their friend into the woods and tried to sacrifice her, claiming they did it to appease Slenderman. The victim survived, but humanity's grip on reality, less so. The substance. Imagine injecting an anti-aging serum into your body, and suddenly a Gen Z influencer crawls out of your spine. Welcome to The Substance. Elizabeth Sparkle is a former Hollywood star, an aerobics queen, quietly discarded by the industry for having the nerve to age. Then a nurse offers her The Substance, a slime green miracle that promises a younger, more perfect you. Desperate to become relevant again, Elizabeth injects it. Her back splits open like a piñata, and a younger version pops out from a slit in her back. That's where Sue comes in, out. The rules? Share the body. 7 days each. No skipping turns. Sue immediately goes viral. Elizabeth, meanwhile, gets 7 days of TV dinners and decomposing in silence. But Sue doesn't want to switch back. She wants all the screen time. Elizabeth becomes a soggy leftover, rotting on the bathroom floor, while Sue snatches brand deals. Sue's hunger for more time eats Elizabeth alive. Still, she can't stop, because Sue is everything she wants to be. Eventually, Elizabeth snaps and tries to delete Sue out of existence, but halfway through, she hesitates. Now both are awake, and Sue responds by beating her straight into early retirement. Literally. Without Elizabeth, Sue can't hold it together. She falls apart. Panicked, she injects more serum and births Monstro Elisa Sue, a bubbling, limb-tangled fusion that looks like SCP-610. But the real killer isn't Sue. It's addiction. Sue drains her dry, but Elizabeth hands her the straw. Sue keeps sipping until there's nothing left but a shriveled ex-celebrity and a puddle of regret. The Dream Man. Looks familiar? That's probably because you've met him before, in your sleep. He's the main antagonist of the creepypasta called Have You Seen This Man? No name or backstory. Just an uncanny face showing up in your dreams. Thick eyebrows, a disturbingly wide mouth, and a hairline that screams mid-level management. People say he looks familiar, but no one can quite place him. Some swore he looked suspiciously like Mr. Bean or that guy who took the Smurfs, though. He first showed up in 2006. A woman in New York told her therapist this face kept appearing in her dreams, giving cryptic advice. The kicker? She'd never seen him before. A few weeks later, more patients started describing the exact same man, right down to the eyebrows. The psychiatrist had circulated a sketch worldwide with the question, Have you dreamed of this man? That's when it spiraled. Thousands of people across the globe claimed they had. Not in real life, just in their dreams. He's appeared as God, Santa, a life coach, or worse, just standing at the foot of your bed, breathing. So what is he? Some say a shared hallucination, others think it was a failed viral marketing stunt that somehow became something more. And to this day, no one's ever matched the sketch to a real person, but people still dream about him. Sleep well. The man with the upside-down face. The man with the upside-down face is a supernatural parasite who feeds on human misery and suffering, kind of like the way the rest of us scroll through group chat drama. You won't spot him in the moment, but check the photos later, and there he is, grinning, ready to turn the whole thing upside down. But here's the twist. He's not causing the disaster. He just shows up after and snacks on the emotional fallout, officially known as the patron saint of small tragedies, or, as Trevor Henderson put it, the pettiest a-hole of the bunch. He feeds on grief, fear, confusion. Any moment when life tips sideways. You don't see him until hindsight kicks in. Think cosmic bottom feeder, front row seat, your worst day on loop. Physically? He's a man in a dark suit, head flipped upside down, eyes locked on you with a smile that's unsettling to say the least. His abilities include causing disasters, manipulating emotions, and even making food spoil around him. And with all that power, you'd expect something grand. But no, instead of aiming for world ending, he goes for personal inconvenience, ruining birthday parties, leaving your Wi-Fi unplugged for too long, dancing to Mother Nature's song. So, when there's no stopping curiosity and you find a strange figure lurking in the background of an old photo, he's not photobombing, he's feeding, and there's no time to waste. Room. Room isn't the kind of horror that kicks down the door. He is the door and the walls. And that weird triangle-shaped shadow in the corner, you've been pretending not to see. He first appears in the analog horror series Boisvert, a black humanoid figure with a triangular head. Sometimes he wears a white mask. Sometimes it's someone else's face. In one episode, he's revealed to have a third arm. Before that, just a blurry outline that could have easily been mistaken for a third leg. Wrong genre, obviously. The series follows Oriel, a figure trapped in a crumbling reality where identity fractures and meaning slips through your fingers. Room shows up here too, but not as a monster, but as a shape, a presence. A walking embodiment of intrusive thoughts, doubt, despair, the urge to give up. Rather than lighting up the room, he dims it. He surfaces during isolation, spreading like mold in the corner of a locked room. His presence creeps in slowly. Static in the background, a cold voice whispering, "When did you last go outside?" He tells you nothing matters, that your words are wasted, and the voice sounds familiar because it's yours. Room feeds on collapse, on stillness, on the days when your mind turns against you. And when he's in the house, yeah, there's no room for hope. And that concludes the list, guys. Sleep tight and see you in the next video.